Greetings, players and coaches, from all of us here at the Michigan High School Esports League as we look forward to another great season of competition. To kick off the new season, we added a new feature called Content Connect, a series of short videos and educational concepts released bi-weekly across 3 different main areas: strategy and gameplay, college and career, and team spotlight. Now, these are informational content sets that help provide greater insight into the world of esports and help highlight our teams across the state of Michigan. Share these with your players, use during practices, and help expand your building's esport culture. Our first segment focuses on the college side. We have Charles Spencer, the Assistant Director of Esports at Eastern Michigan University, sitting down with David Batista, a professor for simulation, animation, and gaming at EMU, to discuss his pathway into esports and student opportunities that lie ahead. Best of luck this week, and make sure to check out the video below.
Hello, everyone. My name is Charles Spencer, aka Big Man on Campus. I head up the Eastern Michigan University Esports program for Rec IM here at Eastern Michigan University. I am here today with David Batista. He is a fine professor over at the Simulation, Animation, Gaming program at Eastern Michigan University. He also has a passive esports and is here today to help talk about his time in esports a little bit and also connect our program, the Simulation Animation program, to what you can do in esports here at Eastern Michigan. Thank you for coming, David.
Thank you for having me.
Great. So let's start off a little bit of your esports journey about what your time in esports and what game you got involved in.
It's quite the long journey, to be honest. I started out like most esports players, we really just like start out with just like playing something casually. But with me specifically, playing something casually was just playing a game. The idea of competing for a game wasn't really an idea back in like 2007, 2008. That time I was like heavily into Team Fortress 2. As just like a game. I didn't really think about like much of competing with it. Obviously at the time I was like, yeah, I wish I could make money with this, but that's like insane. But yeah, because the game was definitely like structuring itself out to be like that. But yeah, I did like that was basically my competitive outlet at the time. To a point where I actually I started competing for money as soon as like 2009. I only like competed a very short time, but that was with an Australian clan. Considering that I was like in Southeast Asia, noting this during this time I was still at the Philippines. Dota esports has already been growing in that region. So I was kind of lucky. I was kind of like at least semi involved with that. That scene with like G Arena and stuff like that in that region. But I didn't really like consider the competitive part about it until I actually like touched StarCraft, more specifically StarCraft 2. That thing came out like 2010. Touched it once, never touched it until around 2011. Where actually 2012, right around where I graduated high school. This was also a time when I used to be in like physical sports, and then I broke my ACL.
Ooh.
And that led me into like just like other competitive outlets, and which led me to video games, which then led me to StarCraft. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try to be good at this game. And I just became good at this game. Regularly competed in like Gamers for Giving, competed at 2014 Red Bull Detroit, and saw various other like online tournaments. And primarily my main source of like competitive events is just like Games for Giving, and at the time UMaCon. And then I just like dropped off of StarCraft as soon as like I graduated like around 2016. StarCraft wasn't as popular back then. Like it's getting better now, but back then it was like a downfall in terms of popularity with MOBAs rising up, and then all of a sudden like Fortnite and other esports. Counter-Strike making a comeback, which was amazing to see. And then now I'm in Smash, which is another like shift in genre. I go from like FPS shooter into an RTS like esports game, and now I'm in a fighting game scene. And all of them I pretty much competed in quotes in case of the in TF2, but really competed at a high level. But and yeah, in terms of like how I got involved with Smash, it's really just like my roommate inviting me to like a bar where they like hosted the Melee tournament, Smash Melee, which is like one of the second installments in their game. It's pretty old, but still kind of like holds up enough that it still has a competitive scene. Then I was like, I like this. And I'm like, I'm getting too old for StarCraft because like the fall off of that is like 24 years old. And I tried Smash, and I was like, you know what, this is kind of cute. It has all the Mario little characters. It has like one of my favorite Mario brother, which is Luigi, who I play in that game more often. And yeah, and I did bet in terms of like going in the game, I did better than I expected.
Mhm.
To be honest, to a point, like even like within the high level players in our even in our school specifically, I've been able to win at least like one tournament, which kind of like gained me some respect among like my peers and my and the students in the campus. So that was pretty cool to experience. But yeah, that's I guess my journey in terms of like competitive life in esports.
Oh,
I guess there are aspects of it like TOing, but I don't know if that's something we want to explore.
yeah, no, that's great. And with what you've done in different types of esports, I guess, and I guess you can go a little bit into tournament organizing and I guess to what you're doing now, being a game developer, right? And
Yeah.
also a professor for the simulation animation gaming program, and making that transition to it. And and yeah, and so like talk about how that transition into that really helped you in even helping other students connect esports to what you want to do, to what you are doing in the program itself.
In terms of game development, there's the obvious fact that games are in video games are involved. Uh, that's why it's the SAG program, simulation animation gaming program, is so synonymous with esports. Um, it's just like everything's kind of like accelerated by the same source of energy from anyone, which is like the love of video games, or the love of interaction between computer and person, and the love and understanding why things are in a simulation or isolated in an isolated incident, such as a scenario a scenario in a story game, or like a scenario in like an esports game. The same kind of like mindset will be called upon whenever people designers are um, designers or players are looking to solve a problem. Um, so I think that's kind of like one of the essential parts of like the transition. Um, Not to say that you actually like need to have that. Obviously, like in esports, there's more ways to get involved than just become having a having a game developer career as a um, secondary career. Um, anyone basically can involve in. That's kind of like what's lovely about it in esports. Just you can just get involved in it. In terms of side program, it's just like HyperXL. It just complements it pretty well.
Mhm.
Um, if there any more specific case, I've in ter in terms of how I've like incorporated esports in my life, it's mostly on in terms of how I handle content creation. Same way in game development is kind of like always been kind of like mended and mended and grown in my love for esports. I've always made like content for other people. I've done graphic design, or even just like the plain understanding of like game design that'll help someone in a video game, or understanding of like the the audience, whatever game designers are appealing to, which are obviously gamers. Um, there are other like audiences, obviously, that not just gamers, that gaming can help.
Mhm.
But primarily speaking, being in esports kind of gives you an advantage of like understanding what kind of who are we trying to entertain, and how from what can we take from our experience as like someone who's like competing in esports, organized for esports, handled other players for esports, and looked at other players for esports. What frustrates these players, and why is it so? What solutions can we think of as game developers uh, to look, now that we're aware of those scenarios, that um, being involved in that community um, will give you.
No, yeah, and yeah, I agree with that, and just the overall aspects of where, how that connect to each other in that sense, and how, going back to earlier what you said as well about, how easily you can really get yourself involved in a game and the scene behind it. Plus, with teachings of getting the opportunity to come to a school at Eastern that can help you also with your brand and becoming a brand in gaming that you can really get behind, and for other people to get behind a great community. And speaking of communities, I'd like to talk to you about your time as a faculty advisor for the Smash Club, and talk about what you do with the Smash Club, and how has it been for you ever since you got.
I mean, my time in the Smash Club has been like one of the most unique times I've had in esports. I think it's um, even despite all my history with esports, I think it's the time I've been personally been involved the most. In terms of like StarCraft or TF2, I've only been really never. I've been like part of a community, but never really been um the with the StarCraft scene kind of like the way it is, not as like uh close knit community compared to like something like Smash, where um even with its capabilities of, well, considering it's not so great capabilities of online, it's it's lackluster performance in on as an online game kind of like boom this scene where everyone had to be like face to face,
Mhm.
and local events are a thing. And it's a complete Smash event is kind of like a completely different experience compared to like other esports, to be honest. You're not really friends with teammates, you're more friends with literally anyone you can find on bracket. um, and everyone's just nice. Everyone's just nice. In terms of EMU Smash Club specifically, uh, I guess I can start with like how I've gotten involved in them in the first place, where um, I got a message, I think, from Cal, who was the no, I didn't get a message. I got news that one of my students in SAG, who was Cal winning,
Yeah.
is apparently leading something about an esports program in Eastern. So I decided to just join in the Discord just to check it out. Um, so everyone was kind of like as I'm talking to everyone was surprisingly kind of like fascinated by the fact that I was an instructor or a professor who also played video games. And I'm like, guys, I'm not that old. Um, so I was like, yeah, I've been and then I told him like that pretty much early part of my story about me being involved in esports since like um, the boom of esports in around 2010. Um, and Tim, who was the president of the Smash Club at the time, uh, basically were like, you know what, we're looking for advisors, and would you like to like just check out the Smash community, even if you're not interested? So I was like, you know what, I tried out that video game when we went to that melee tournament right around the bar. I got the video game in Switch. Why not? All right. I checked it out. There was like a lot of people in that just one room. um, and it was just like more closely knit community, that was just more enjoyable. You weren't just because for my experience, and at least in StarCraft, whenever you get in a group of people who just like love StarCraft, it's only like really um, you only really get connected to maybe like 5 other people um, in the community, and we're kind of like well spread out. We know each other because we play each other online, but that's pretty much like it in terms of us the players. Everyone else is either playing StarCraft secondary or not, just trying it out and on a whim on a bracket. But um, when it comes to Smash, because it has like this variety of like it has this history going back. Now it's also StarCraft, but definitely has more installments than StarCraft has, and has like more potential in terms of marketability. Um, you meet players who have played it since 1999, or you'll meet players who's played it like ever since like Melee came out, and then you'll be players who just play it because they love that Kirby is in the game, or freaking Sephiroth is in the game from Final Fantasy VII, or freaking whatever both modern and old um, characters that are being represented in the game, and that was an amazing part that kind of like um, it's a kind of like unique things about the game. It really builds a community, um, by its circumstance and both by its like just its ability. Um, yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's great. That's great. I think overall, when I first came here around 2019, it was early September. The school year was starting, and I was really trying to see where the gaming community really has come together. I come to one of your Smash Club meetings, and it was packed full of people really, enjoying the game down in the building of Great Herald, just playing good Smash, whether it was the Ultimate that was coming out or it was Melee. It was either or. They still love to come together, play the Smash tournaments, and Tim Bonk is an amazing part of that as the president, and also Ryan and Dancer. Ryan, that is Dancer, as well as vice president, and the rest of the fine group. I mean, Mo and C Dub as well, and they're also like streamers as well that really want to get themselves out there as brands and good people and enjoy gaming overall. And I really am proud to really work with them as EMU Esports and helping that and really getting the Smash Club to grow. But they've done a lot of work themselves, and I think for all of you to understand, like they helped really build the Smash Club to be the game that is most popular here at EMU, even though it's not the only game here at EMU. But they have a great, fine community that is very hopeful. We're going to do more in house tournaments face to face safely with COVID safe, but also at the same time enjoying themselves playing stuff like Smash and other games that we'll have for here in esports. And overall, really, I guess one last thing before we're done is, you know, with you, like, what is the best part for you being here at EMU? And what's really most fulfilling about what you do, not just as well, really also as a faculty advisor helping out the club, a professor, and overall game developer, and as a person, what's most fulfilling about doing what you do?
Most fulfilling, at least as a professor, is just like people don't really like believe one of the things that people kind of like, um, well, some of them do, but it's least believed that some of us professors don't like genuinely enjoy like teaching at all, and genuinely enjoy just like passing on some knowledge, and it's especially for me kind of like accelerated as well in esports because back then before I got involved with the Smash Club, I've been only really teaching like for my professional life as game developer, a lead artist in a company, uh in a company called Spellbound. Um, but I haven't really had my first taste of like how do I pass on knowledge that I've learned from from something that I like genuinely love and not just like have as a job. Not to say that I don't love like making art and being a lead artist in a game company, but I also like to like uh, present esports or present video games outside of being a job can still be a beneficial experience, can teach you life lessons, um, mostly about um, from something as complicated as like solving problems or game theory to something as like how video games can generally just like tell you stories the same way a movie or a book can, and sometimes even more effective. So because um, you can you can't really feel frustration in a movie or a book because you can always just pause it or put it away. And where in case of like playing a video game, so because you are involved, the frustration is frustration is genuine, and when you have that, the joy that comes out of it is just as if not even more genuine. Um, so yeah.
All right. Thank you for your time today. I very much appreciate it. If you want to learn more about the SAG Simulation Animation Gaming Program, go to emich.edu and look up the Simulation Animation Gaming Program. We will have more information as well in the emails that will be coming next. And I will see you all next time. Have a great night.